Hey, my good friends, I hope you are having a great morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world. And this is I guess, a Food Network special today. I've never done this regarding, what I do every single day for people other than our clients in our community. But I wanted to do something fun and different for our Facebook Live followers from around the world. And it's, all around health, nutrition, what to eat, and everything to do with what does it really take, okay, to release weight, not lose weight, because we always try to find what we lose. We're neurologically wired to find what we lose. And so I like to think of weight that I've had on my body as I needed it, and it served me at the time I needed it, and then I've released it back into the universe so that somebody else who needs it right now can have it, because I no longer need it anymore or want it anymore. So we're going to do a bit of a session, and I'm going to share with you what really got me onto this focus around my health and well-being. I'll share with you 3 steps that you really need to think about if you want to release weight and keep it off. And the reason I say keep it off is because 99%, this is a statistic, 99% or 99 people out of 100 that lose weight or release it will gain it back, and then a little bit extra. And the question is why? Because every diet works short term, but they almost never work long term. And I'll share with you the secrets behind what I discovered by hiring some of the leading experts in the world that I put onto my team to help me understand the inner game, but also the biology around weight loss, the nutrition around weight loss, and things like that. So before we continue, by the way, I'm going to be giving you access to my secret smoothie recipe, or super duper smoothie recipe that I have every morning. And as you can see in front of me, there's a whole bunch of ingredients that I mix and match. I'll show you what I do. I'll actually make it right here in front of you. I'll give you access to this sheet, but I also take vitamins and minerals and brain food every day just to stay focused and energetic and make sure that I have incredible energy all day long. So I'll show you how to get this in a few minutes. What I would love to do to start off, and by the way, it's welcome to my, I'm in my kitchen and our little dining room over here and at our home in California. But before I even begin, I'm going to put on my glasses. Let me know if you have ever lost weight and gained it back, and how much. Let me know. I'm going to look at my computer right over here. And if you like this topic, give me a like or love. I'm looking at myself talking right now. But if you like this concept to learn what to do to release weight and keep it off, so I'll share with you the inner game, the stuff in the brain. I'll share with you all of the other stuff as well. So I'd love to know. Let me just see your comments. Have you ever lost weight only to gain it back? Elizabeth, hey Elizabeth, great to have you on. Christine, you have. Irene, Angie, lost 25, gained it back. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good morning, Debbie, sweet sir, always great to see you on. Celia, great to have you on. Awesome, awesome. And let me share with you something. It's an epidemic out there for people trying to lose weight and gaining it back. So let me share a little story with you, and then I'll get into a couple things. I'm going to do something unique today. And thank you for all the likes and the loves. I want to share something with you that'll maybe help you understand my frame of mind and why I decided to release weight and keep it off. I was at my home in Telluride, Colorado with my wife and my 2 sons, Keenan and Noah. And one morning, excuse me, at around 11 o'clock, after we've been skiing for about 3 hours, my kids bored, Noah and I were on a chairlift. And at the time, believe it or not, I was 238 pounds. I'll have my team show you a picture of the heavier John Assaraf, the more robust, shall we say, John Assaraf. I'll show you a picture of what it looks like today and how I got there. So I'll show you the before and I'll show you the after in just a moment. But we were sitting on the chairlift, and at the time I was 48 years old, and Noah at the time was 13. And on the chairlift, my son looked at me and he just put his arm on my shoulder. He was sitting to my left, put his arm on my shoulder, and he says, "Papa, Keenan and I really love that you can ski with us and board with us, but we wish you wouldn't be so tired all the time on the mountain because we want to go faster. And in 1 second, my heart opened up, but then I felt embarrassed and ashamed that I couldn't do what my son wanted me to do. And the reason I felt embarrassed and ashamed was because I thought I ate well. I thought I exercised a lot, which I did. I worked out every morning, but I was carrying more than 30 or 40 extra pounds in my body, which was putting stress on my knees, on my quads, on my hips. And I was not feeling, full of energy. And so I looked at my son, Noah. I said, sweetheart, I love taking you and Keenan boarding and skiing here at our home. And I said, I'll make you a promise right now. I'll make you a promise. I will do whatever I have to do to get in the best shape of my adult life so that I can not only enjoy teaching you and Keenan how to ski and board more, which I love, but I promise you right now that I will get into the best shape of my life and I will keep it until you and Keenan, hopefully one day, will have children, and I will teach your children how to board or ski when they're old enough. So I share this story with you because for years, I had lost and gained weight, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 25 pounds, felt and looked better, gained it back. I've lost over 250 pounds, 15, 20 pounds at a time, over and over and over again. And it wasn't because I wasn't trying, but I really didn't understand enough about the brain science for losing weight and keeping it off. And I'll share that with you in a moment of what some of the brain science is. But I also had an addiction to sugar, which I'll show you in just a little bit, how I accepted that I had a sugar addiction and what I did to overcome it. And so I hope this makes sense to you because it's transformed my life. And it started off with, a promise to my son. It wasn't even a promise, for me, it was a promise for him. And so the 3 steps that I took that I'll share with you today of what I did, how I did it, and why, started off with setting a goal and a vision for what my life was going to be like, being able to ski all over the world, to take my children with me, when appropriate, to get in shape and stay in shape long enough to be able to be a grandparent. My kids right now, just so you know, are like 22 and 20. And this was, 7 years ago or so. And so I had to see myself in the future with a lot of hope and prayer that my kids would one day get married and have children. But the promise that I made my son was the ignition for me to get really serious. And what I did as soon as I got really serious is I hired a team of experts to teach me about the neurology, the biology, the psychology of losing weight and keeping it off, or as I said earlier, releasing, letting it go because I no longer needed it. And so here is part of the 3-step process. Does this make sense to you so far? Is having a big enough reason why? Because here's what happens for most people. Most people who set a goal to lose weight do it either for a reason or a season. And usually the reason is short term. Like, I want to get into my jeans, or I want to get into my suit, or I want to look good, for my 20th or 30th or 40th reunion with my high school, graduates. And so here's the difference that I found between the people who lost weight and gained it all back and the people who lost weight and kept it off. Are you ready? They all had a vision for what their life would be like with them releasing the weight and enjoying the things that releasing the weight would make them do and feel, and how much more energy they would have. But there was one other thing that was huge. The people who made a decision for a lifetime were the ones that seemed to stick to the things that they needed to stick to over the course of a lifetime, instead of just to lose weight because they wanted to look good on the beach, or just because they wanted to fit into a pair of jeans short term, or a skirt, or a tuxedo. And so the first thing was to make a commitment to releasing weight and keeping it off no matter what. That changes your psychology from going on a diet or a weight loss program to lose weight, that when you lose it, you stop the entire behaviors and the mindset and the discipline that it took you to get there. So that was step number one, is getting committed to releasing the weight. And I was 238 pounds. I was 185 in high school. 238 pounds is a lot of weight, since high school. So the first step was create the vision and the goal for a lifetime, versus to lose a certain amount of weight that when you get there, you're going to, start eating and drinking everything you ate and drank before. So that was number one. Number two, and this is really, really, really huge. What I discovered was that losing weight is actually pretty easy. So weight loss could be, if you go on a diet, you lose water, muscle, tissue. There is so much stuff that weight is comprised of. I didn't focus on losing weight. I focused on reducing fat. I didn't focus on losing weight, because when you go on the scale today or 3 days from now or a week from now, the scale can move up and down for any one of us by 3 to 7 pounds. So for example, I discovered that if I ate pasta or brown rice at night, it retains 2.5 times the amount of water. So if I weigh myself tomorrow morning, even though I may have had a small portion, I may weigh 2 pounds more because it's retained more water. So the thing that I discovered was I had to choose a food plan that worked well for me. Not a diet, but a food plan. And I decided for myself to become a vegan, which means I don't eat any animal protein. And I'm approaching, I think, year number like 5 or 6 right now. I think it's year 6. And so I took out all animal protein, no chicken, no fish, no dairy, no meat of any kind. And so that was something I wanted to test. I did it for 100 days. I felt great. I kept it for another 100 days, felt even better. My aches and pains went away. My hair started to grow like crazy. My nails started to grow, and I just saw benefits. So I determined that that was right for me. I'm not saying that it's right for you, but that was right for me. You have to discover which is the right food plan for you to release weight and keep it off so that you feel great. But there's one other thing in this entire process that I want to make sure I touch upon. I had to be truthful about my problems. So, what were my problems? There are over 35 different reasons why somebody may not be able to lose weight, even if you go on an exercise plan and a proper food plan. If you go on an exercise and food plan, to reduce your caloric intake, which is different than what you're eating right now, there's a part of your brain that's going to switch on, and it's going to put you in a slower metabolism state. Why? Because our brain is wired from prehistoric days to be able to make sure that we have enough reserves based on our set point in our brain. And so most people who go on a diet reduce their calories, increase their exercise, and your brain goes, hey, what's going on right now? Let me slow down the metabolism so that you don't lose the weight so I can have some fat storage. So I didn't know this before, but I hired a few experts who started to teach me the truth about weight loss. So number one is I had to understand how many calories should I have per day. And in my case, it's about 2,350. In just a short minute, we're going to do something unique because I filmed a video in my home gym. I'm going to show you my tracking files. In addition to, for those of you who just joined us, I'm going to give you access to my recipe for the smoothie I'm going to make a little bit later this morning. I just want to make sure that we have enough time to go through everything. But I had to get real about some of my issues. And number one problem that I had is I ate too many calories at each meal. I don't know if it's because I've got a Jewish mother and she wanted me to finish everything and she packed on my plates at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I was consuming more calories than I needed. And even though I was working out, I was getting some muscle, but I was heavy, as you all saw. And Chase, you may want to show that photo again. I was 238 pounds. So I don't know if it was, finishing everything on my plate and overeating. I had to realize that my portions were too big. And my wife kept bothering me all the time. Honey, your portions are too big. Honey, your portions are too big. I said, hey, I'm 6'2". I said, I'm a big guy. I need all that food. That was the story I was telling myself. And I was lying to myself. No, I didn't. I didn't need to eat 3,500 or 4,000 calories a day. I needed about 2,350 to 2,500 for me. I don't know what it is for you, but that's for me. That was number one. Number two, every night after dinner, not during the day, but every night after dinner, I would eat sugar. Now, I'm not the type of person that eats one cookie. I eat 10. I don't eat a little piece of pie. I eat half a pie. I don't have one scoop of frozen yogurt. I have 4 of them with lots of toppings. Or should I say, I used to. So I had to get real about my issues. And the other problem that I had is I have severe sleep apnea. So I sleep with a CPAP machine. And the reason I sleep with a CPAP machine to pressurize airflow into my nasal passage was because if you're not sleeping well, then it could affect your leptin levels. Now, I didn't know a leptin level from a schmeptin level. Doesn't matter. I had no idea what that was, but my team of experts shared with me that some of the research is showing that if you interrupt your sleep or your hormones are off, or your metabolism is off, or your circadian rhythm is off. There's 35 different things. But I'll try and get those 35 things and I'll give them to you with this, but later on today, because we don't have it right now, we're looking for it. But in addition to the smoothie, I'll send you another email later on. But what I discovered there were 3 things that were holding me back. So I took care of my sugar addiction, which I'll share with you in a moment. I got my nutrition program right. I got my exercise program right. And then I did something that most people have never even heard of, and that is I reset something that scientists know is the fat set point. Somebody write that down, the fat set point. And so what is the fat set point? Every one of us has these set points in our brains, just like a thermostat in a room. It's got a set point based on what you've programmed it for. Every one of us has a fat set point. And for most people, when they go on a diet and exercise and do the things that they need to do in order to release weight and keep it off, what they don't do is reset their fat set point. And so what happens when your set point, is challenged, your brain overrides, your decision to be eating healthy and to exercise, and it does so with rationalizations. And so you say to yourself after a week or two, hey, I've been really good. I can cheat a little now. And that is your brain's way of getting you to get back to your set point. And so not only did I use all of the brain training tools that we use at Neurogym with our clients, I was able to release weight, keep it off, and then we created a program called Winning the Game of Weight Loss that I'll share with you guys later what to do if you want to find out more about it, that helps people reset their fat set point while they are choosing the right dietary needs and food plan and exercise plan and take care of all the other stuff. But those 3 things, setting the vision and the goal and having a big reason why, being truthful about what the issues were that I had to address, and coming to terms with being an addict of sugar. I didn't want to be an addict of sugar, but I was, and I had to address the problem, and eating huge portion controls really didn't help me release weight and keep it off. And then retraining my brain and my self-image and my fat set point, that's what allowed me to release the weight and keep it off. And so just to put things into perspective for you, Not only did I do that, but many of you know me from, The Secret and setting up a vision board. And I'm going to take you to my gym in just a moment. And when we come back, I'm going to share with you my smoothie recipe so that you can make it at home. I'll share with you some of the vitamins and minerals that I take that I also included, by the way, on this page. I think it starts off, over here with every product that I take with what it does for you. And here's what I don't want you to think, that this is your recipe. And what I mean by that is this is what I need to operate optimally. I hired the experts to do that, to help me create a plan for myself. And I recommend that you do your own research through reading, through maybe some coaching, or maybe a program that is right for you. And I'll give you, the template. But you may know, I create vision boards for just about every area of my life. And I track and measure my progress every single day. So here's a question. Do you want to see about a 6 or so minute video that we did in my gym, and then I'll come right back. If you want to see, how I track, how I measure, what I've done for the last, couple of years to be able to start off at 238, get down to 233, 235, 230, back up to 235. Do you want to see that, up and down challenge that I've had for myself? If you do, give me a like or love signal right now, and I'll put that video on. I'll come back, show you the smoothie, and I'll show you how you can find out more about the right plan and program for you. If you like that, I'm looking right now on here. All right, so I see your comments. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so if you want to see it, Christine Wilson also. Okay, good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shift over to Chase, who's standing in front of me in my kitchen right now. And what we're going to do is show you this little video so you can see how I track it. Trust me, it's not complex. It's really easy. Anybody could do it. I bought well, you'll see in just a second. And then I'll come back and I'm going to walk you through my morning smoothie. It gives me energy from 8:30 till about 1 o'clock. I don't have any hunger pangs. I get all the nutrients I need. I'll show you how to create this for yourself. And we'll have a little bit more fun. So let's go over to the video and I'll be back in about 6-7 minutes. Hey, this is John. And something I wanted to share with you is, how do I set goals so I can achieve them? But what do I do through the ups and the downs that every journey has when you're looking to achieve really amazing goals? And so we're here in my home gym, and I want to share with you a journey that I've had for the last 10 months. But it really started a few years ago when I made a commitment to my health. And I was about 240 pounds, which was 40 to 45 pounds over my ideal weight. And so I initially lost, through exercise, nutrition, sleeping well, and having a trainer, about 35, 37 pounds. But this year I want to do something to level that up. So let me show you something. At the beginning of this year, as you'll see right over here, this was my exact weight. I was 209 pounds, 8 ounces. That was January 1st. I set a goal of 195 to 198 pounds with 12% body fat. I wanted to be pain-free. And so in addition to setting the goal, I obviously had to make sure that I was covering the right things that I needed to do. So I needed to have the knowledge, I needed to have the skills, I needed to have the strategies, I needed to have the discipline, and I needed to have the support. Knowledge, skills, strategies, discipline, and the support. And for me, the support was my wife, my children, my community of friends, and my personal trainer. So I set a goal, and let me show you what happened. From this goal, my average for January, February, and March was about 205, with 204 being the lowest, 209 being the highest. So I made some adjustments, which you'll see in a moment. And then in April, all right, you will see that I hit my goal of 198.8 pounds. And then I hovered around 199.2, 202, 200.8. So within several months, I hit my goals. But the reason for that is I was at my home in Colorado skiing for 2 weeks, so I was burning extra calories. And then look what happened when I got home. In May, my average was right around 199 to 203. Then in June, I blossomed up to 205 pounds again. And then my July and August average was 205. And then August 1st, I was 203. So let me share something with you. I was within, 2% of my goal, and I still wasn't hitting it. I was hovering between 202, 205. Now, that's not that big of a deal, but I had a goal that I committed to. And so I analyzed what I was doing. What was my portion size of my food? How long was I exercising? What could be in the way from reaching my goal? And I discovered a couple things I'll share with you in a moment. But here's one thing that I can tell you made a difference for me. Right around October, I realized that I wasn't going to hit my goal, or September actually, I wasn't going to hit my goal. So I cut out sugar again for the 25th time. I have been a sugar addict most of my life, and so I cut out sugar. It's been about 50 days now since I haven't had sugar. But here's what happened. I cut out sugar, and look what happened. Just with that one decision, all right, my weight went from 203 to 202 to 205 to 203 to 201 to 202 to 201 to 199.2 on Halloween, October 31st. So as you can see, it wasn't, a goal that I've achieved in 1 or 2 weeks. I've been working on this for 10 months, but diligently keeping track, diligently focusing every day when I'm on my bike or my Stairmaster, or my elliptical. I focus on the six-pack that I've never had as one of the things I just want to do for fun. It's not necessary, but it's for fun to be able to have a six-pack in your mid-50s. But let me share with you just a little bit more of the picture so you understand that this really works when you work it. So my goal, as you can see, 195 to 198 here, but now I was tracking my cardiovascular activities. So in January, I did 918 minutes of cardio. In February, I did 818. In March, 1,000. And then I did my inner size, my brain training every single day, 100%. And my food, I track, am I sticking with my food plan? I'm vegan. I don't, eat any animal protein, which is what works for me. And you can see I've stayed the beginning of the year on track 97, 98% of the time. And then in April, I kept track. I had 2 weeks off in May. And then here is, the plan that I had for myself. For food, I look to have 177 grams of protein a day. I look to have about 90 grams of fat and about 206 grams of sugar, of carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates. All that equals about 2,350 calories, which my trainer helped me discover is my baseline of what I need to sustain, my body size and weight. If I want to lose weight, release weight, I need to be under that. So that was that. And then here I've got something that I know you'll find pretty interesting is behavior creates habit, habit creates behavior. And so I'm consistently looking to develop daily rituals. I track stuff so I can keep, just on the vein of achieving the goal. And then the thing that I've been focusing on is portion sizes, and then making sure that 25% of my calories are from whole food, raw vegetables and things like that. And so then I focus on what's the one thing or two things I need to focus on. So number one is eat slowly. I tend to eat really, really fast. Number two, no sugar for me. Because I don't eat a little bit of sugar. I don't eat one cookie. I eat 10. I don't eat a piece of pie. I eat the whole pie. That's just my personality. All or nothing. You might be like that. And then lean protein every meal. I wasn't getting lean protein every meal. And this is something that I just set up for myself, which is my piece of art, And this is me right over here. And this is me with two choices every day around my addiction. Yes to having sugar or no to not having sugar. And it's just a pattern choice. So I, as an addict of sugar, have a choice every day. Yes, to let my addiction rule me, or no, I'm going to change the pattern. Well, as I mentioned, it's been 45 days or so, 50 days I haven't had sugar, and now I've got a brand new, easy to follow pattern that's making it easy for me to feel better, feel less pain, low to no inflammation in my body, and more importantly, I am within a pound or so of achieving my goal. And so between these two documents, this is how I keep track of it. And then here's like my general document over here. And this is all about focus and consistency. So I had some neck injuries, so I'm doing some stretching for my neck. I'm doing some stuff for my quads for skiing. But I keep track on being consistent and focused. And so is it, easy to achieve goals? Yeah, if you have a process, but will you, make mistakes? Will you have times when you've got ups and downs, highs and lows, times it's working, times it's not? Of course it is. That's just natural and we know it. But remember, the knowledge, the skills, the strategies, the discipline, and the support is what you need. Put that together and you'll achieve every goal that you have. Hope you enjoyed this. And if you like it, share it with somebody. All right, so welcome back. And I hope that opened up your mind to understanding that, releasing weight and keeping it off is different than losing weight. And as I mentioned earlier, we want to lose fat versus just weight, because weight is made up of water and tissue and muscle and fiber and blood, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, bone, et cetera. And so has this worked? Do you think this has worked? And the answer for me is yes, because of what I looked like before. And let me just share something with you. Since then, since you saw that video, I am now almost 10 pounds lighter. My new target is 189 pounds. And as of last week, I was 191.5. So I just keep using the same process and I keep sugar out of my diet, which leads me to two things. For those of you that want the recipe and the smoothie I'm gonna make, you can just click on the link that's below the video. And we just found the other document that we won't be able to include in the smoothie recipe, but I'll send you another email later. If you want to get the smoothie recipe now, just click on the link. I'll also give you an opportunity if you want to watch me and Ari Witten and JJ Version and Mark David, some of the people that I hired, talking in depth about the different strategies and tactics to lose weight and keep it off. You can register for that if you like. But how did I overcome my sugar addiction? Well, you may or may not know this, but sugar is 4 to 5 times more addictive than cocaine. And our brains become addicted, obviously, to the quick burst, that simple sugars give us, because your brain is looking for things that it could use to burn quickly. But sugar also will affect your leptin levels and your insulin levels. So I want to take it out of my diet. Initially, I tried, only have sugar on the weekends or on special occasions, or try to have sugar like twice a week. I tried that 100 freaking times. That does not work for me or for any other sugar addict. But you may be addicted to salt, or you may be addicted to other foods. I had to make a decision that I was going to get rid of sugar, refined sugar specifically, forever. Remember, a reason, a season, or a lifetime? That was a tough decision to make, because what fun am I going to have if I can't even have a cookie or some ice cream? Well, it was really hard for about 3 weeks. And because I made a decision to let go of refined sugar for life, everything in my perspective changed. Addicts don't have the ability to only do something a little bit and then stop. For addicts, whether it's drug addicts, alcoholics, painkiller people, sugar, it's all or nothing. Once you're addicted, the only recipe is abstinence. And there are very, very, very few people who are addicts that can manage their addiction other than stay off of it. So the way I did it is I had to go back to, the mindset, right, of am I doing it for a reason, a season, or a lifetime? Okay, I'm going to make it for a lifetime. And then I've been able to release an additional, 7, 8 pounds this year. I'm going to hit my target of 189 any week or two now. Then I'm going to go down to 185. I'm going to build some muscle next. And that leads me to showing you the smoothie. So if you take a look at my smoothie recipe, I've got a whole bunch of ingredients here. The base that I use is a protein powder that doesn't have sugar in it. It has stevia in it that doesn't affect your insulin levels. I use a plant-based protein called a Vega 1. That's just what I prefer. I also have a seed mixture, a greens mixture, coconut butter, coconut oil. I use almond milk that's unsweetened. I use some maca for energy, some cacao nibs for antioxidants, some hemp for protein, and some chia for some of the omega fatty acids that I want. And I put it all together. Okay, and I already put some of this mixture in there. I take some, like a handful, okay, of raspberries, blueberries, and I usually just do two fruits, and I don't mind a little bit of sugar from the fruit because it also is combined with fiber, so it's much better for you. It doesn't metabolize as fast. And then I usually will put some leafy green. This I think is kale today, and that's what I do. And what I usually do is I have a lot of my ingredients right in here so I could scoop them up. So for example, right now, I am nursing a couple of injuries, so I'm going to add a little bit of branched chain amino acids. Being a vegan, I've got to watch the exact amount of protein that I get every day. I've got to get my essential amino acids. I didn't know that before, but I got the experts to find out. So I just put that in there, and I make myself about a 16 to 18 ounce smoothie, or yeah, 16 to 20 ounce smoothie. Just 1 second now. All right, I get my little smoothie. I put it into my Waterford crystal glass, and this lasts me from 8:30 in the morning till about 1 o'clock every day. It's got a little bit of sugar for immediate energy, some protein, lean, yummy for muscle building and for repair, some oils, some fiber so that you're regular. And then I also take my vitamins. I take Cognitex for the brain, Life Extension, Foundations where I get a lot of the stuff, curcumin to reduce inflammation, my multivitamin, and I take a whole bunch of other different multivitamins and minerals that some people agree with, other people don't. I take probiotics for good bacteria into the colon, and this is really part of my health recipe. Now, many of you may ask, what about when you travel? Doesn't change. I take my stuff with me, but I don't take it in packets like this. I'll put it into a big bag, roll it up, and I take enough for my entire trip, whether it's a week or 2 or 3 weeks. If there's anything that I need that's perishable, I just get it at the location that I'm at, and you can order it on Amazon Fresh if you like, to make sure that you don't change your routine. The habit is really important, and so I'm showing you the end result of years of practice, but I'm showing you everything I do, from the exercise, the nutrition, the mindset, the skill set. And so I think we're a little bit past our time by about 8 minutes, but that is my smoothie recipe. That's how I got in shape. That's how I stayed in shape. That's how I'm going to get into the best shape of my life. And now I set a goal to have a six-pack, which I've never had in my life, by the time I'm 60. So fat and flabby at 45, to fit at 55, to being even in better shape at 60, so that I could do what? Fulfill my promise to my son and my sons, and to really enjoy my life, to be able to go around the world and travel and teach and learn and meet people and do the stuff that I really love to do. I don't have any aches and pains other than a few injuries because of skiing. No inflammation. I feel great. I sleep great. My wife loves it. And this is what works. And so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, would you do me a favor and share it with people? I want to give you the truth about what it really takes. I cannot stand all the bullshit that's out there of people, selling, weekend fat loss programs. Yeah, you'll lose weight, you're going to gain it all back. Don't be in the mindset of, I want to lose weight because you're just going to mess up your brain and your biology to gain more back to preserve the fat that your brain wants and the calories that your brain wants. So if you like this, hit the love button. If you really like it, hit the share button, and thank you. And then we'll see you next Tuesday, probably back in my office. And my team's telling me we're all good. So like it, get the recipe for the smoothie right now and the vitamins and minerals that I take. You got to come up with your own formulas. I've given you some of the baselines, and watch the training that I did with Ari and JJ and Mark David on, winning the game of weight loss, and see if, what we're teaching you there is right for you. And you'll also learn about our brain retraining program for winning the game of weight loss if you like. And I'll look forward to teaching you and sharing more truth of what it takes to live an amazingly successful life. For me, this is all about living the dream. create the dream in here, back it up, okay, with your behaviors, make it long-term so that you do the right things in the right order at the right time. There's a link to get this right below my video. Have an awesome day. Thank you so much for sharing it. We will see you next Tuesday. God bless you and thank you.